There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. Love myself the way I am, but still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am. Few but mighty. Okay, let's all stand for the next song. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. Whoa. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. Whoa. Now take some of that time and say hello to the people around you. All right, let's break this down now. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. Whoa. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. Whoa. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. Where there is love, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, nothing is too much trouble. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, 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 whoa. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, time, time. There is always time, 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 whoa.
Good morning, beautiful center. And welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. I am Reverend Carla Shiratis, and it's a joy to gather with you today in this sacred space with open hearts, expanded minds, and spirit that meets us exactly where we're at. Whether you're a part of this community, if you've been a part of this community for years or you are here for the very first time, we want you to know that you are welcome, you are seen, and that you belong here. And as we just settle into our experience this morning, let us remember that the one presence moves through each of us, guiding us, inspiring us, inviting us into a greater wisdom, joy, and love. Together, we are co-creating this energy in the center. We're co-creating an experience together and an intention for openness. So I just want to thank you all for being here this morning. We're going to get started with our service, and we will begin with lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of spiritual principles. And as our practitioner, Rick Dell, lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And we will be taking 2 minutes of sacred silence together.
let's pray. Let's reconnect with that infinite one, which is our source. That one which was never born and can never die. That one which is at the core of being, of every person here, of every person in the world, and of all of us collectively. And as we open that door to the one perfect, absolute, the one that makes all things new, we surrender to that one. Not surrendering as in defeat, but we surrender in victory. That one fills us and fulfills us, each and every one. And we are here to see that oneness and to be that oneness with each other and with the entire world. And that is what we are doing here today, and that is what we are doing in life every day. And so, I give thanks for this wonderful, wonderful gift that we have been granted by the Absolute. And for every soul here, every beating heart, for the air we breathe, for this beautiful center that allows us to be what we are meant to be. And with this thankful heart, I release these words into the law, into the presence, into the mind that says, yes, my beloved, now and always. And together we say, and so it is. In your program, you have the global vision, which we will now say here like we really mean it. We see a world that works for all, where all life is honored as expressions of the divine, where kinship with all life prospers, where spiritual guidance is valued, and where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all. And today's affirmation, December 7th, I willingly release the old and surrender into newness. Perfect. And so it is.
Beautiful prayer, Rick. Let's give a warm welcome to our beloved house soloist, Ellendale.
Surrendering into newness. We can do that at any moment. So this is a song by Matthew West, and it's called Day One because it is day one of the rest of your life, of the best of your life. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I wish I had a short-term memory. I wish the only thing my eyes could see was the future burning bright right in front of me. But I can't stop looking back. Yeah, I wish I was the perfect picture of somebody who's never not good enough. Well, I try to measure up, but I mess it up, and I wish I wasn't like that. I wish I wasn't wishing anymore. I wish I could remember that nobody's keeping score. I'm tired of throwing pennies in a well. I gotta do something. Here goes nothing. It's day one of the rest of my life. It's day one of the best of my life. I'm marching on to the beat of a brand new drum. Yeah, here I come. The future has begun. Day one. Yes, every single day God's grace reminds me that my best days are not behind me. Wherever my yesterday may find me, well, I don't have to stay there now. See, my hourglass is upside down. My Sunday soon is here and now. The clock is ticking. I'm so sick and tired of missing out. I wish I wasn't wishing anymore. I wish I could remember that nobody's keeping score. I'm tired of throwing pennies in a well. I gotta do something. Here goes nothing. It's day one of the rest of my life. It's day one of the best of my life. I'm marching on to the beat of a brand new drum. Yeah, here I come. The future has begun. Day one. It's day one. And here comes the sun, yeah. Every morning, every morning, every morning, life is new. Every morning. every morning the sun's coming up, the beginning has begun. Yeah! It's day one of the rest of my life. It's day one of the best of my life. I'm marching on to the beat of a brand new drum. Yeah, here I come, the future has begun. It's day one of the rest of my life. Day one of the best of my life. I'm marching on to the beat of a brand new drum. Yeah, here I come, the future has begun. Starting over, starting over, starting over, starting over, starting now. I'm starting over, starting over, starting over, starting over, starting now. I'm starting over.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's give them another hand. Allendale and the band. Woo! Oh, I think I just took it apart. All right, we're good. Good morning. My name is Reverend Dr. Alice Reid, and I am the spiritual director here. And I'm so happy to be with you this morning. Boy, we are kicking it into the holidays full tilt. Do you feel it? Yeah, it's everywhere. You know, when on the East Coast, typically we wouldn't start getting serious about the holidays till after Thanksgiving. And things wouldn't really start happening until about the middle of the month. But boy, out here, I remember my first Christmas season here. I went to buy some things right around Thanksgiving, sold out. Like decorations, sold out. Couldn't believe it. I guess there's a little more people here in the Southern California than I had on Baltimore, Maryland. Well, I am excited about the holidays. I really love them. They're one of my favorite times of year, and I work with metaphysics and spiritual laws, but a lot of my affection and affinity for the holidays comes from growing up in a Catholic family. And so when I came to Centers for Spiritual Living and did my spiritual seeking, if you will, to find out what made sense for me, I was able to find a way to incorporate and integrate all that I learned in this powerful truths and this philosophy with what I was taught as a child. And so because of that, you're going to hear a little bit about Advent. And if you're not familiar about Advent, it's actually a Christian tradition of preparing for the holidays and the birth of baby Jesus. But of course, we don't just subscribe to one spiritual path. We see the threads of truth in many spiritual paths. And so I think of Advent metaphysically as the preparing for a remembrance of the Christ consciousness within ourselves. Yeah, it is. And I don't know about you, but I've given, in my life, lots of opportunities to get distracted from that fact, that there's a light within me, there's a Christ light within me that wants to shine through, that wants to demonstrate out in the world in a big way. So I appreciate the opportunity to come back to these ideas that can help me stay grounded in spiritual principle. So as we, last week, if you were with us, we talked about the first Advent candle of hope, and the second Sunday's Advent recognition is the candle for peace. And so it ties beautifully into our themes for the month of surrendering into newness. Surrendering into newness. There was a wonderful quote. I've used it a couple times only because it's been really profound for me. I heard Reverend Dr. Marcia Sutton say once that Incomplete endings inhibit new beginnings. Incomplete endings inhibit new beginnings. And so we're in December, and we're in the process of ending one year as we step into a new year. And so I think it's really appropriate to begin to talk about how to surrender into newness, because the new year always comes to us with so much promise of something new, promise of something different, promise of the ending of one transition and into the next. And so I think as we move through these holidays and the events and the celebrations that we go through, that it's an opportunity for us not to get too distracted by all that, but to remember that it's also a call for us to put a closure on some things, to see what it is we want to welcome in as we step into a new space, a new year. And so I am talking about surrender today, and I'm not talking about the kind of surrender like where you're defeated or you have to give up. I'm talking about the surrender that comes when we really allow something at a deep level to come into our lives. And so I was looking through The Science of Mind, Living the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. If you're not familiar with Ernest Holmes, he's the founder of our movement. He was an amazing synthesizer who studied Buddhism and Eastern religions and Western religions and other spiritual paths, and was able to synthesize them and look at the spiritual truth that was inherent in all the different spiritual paths and bring it together into one philosophy. It's a pretty amazing feat, if you ask me. But if you look closely at the different religions of the world, you'll find there are some common tenets among all of them. And so in the Living the Science of Mind, he has this wonderful essay called The Great Surrender. And I want to read you a couple of lines from that. Ernest Holmes writes, "So even in teaching us that we must surrender something, Jesus of Nazareth was not telling us that we should live in poverty or limitation. What he was saying is that when we put our trust in external things alone, we are certain to become disillusioned. For a person may have a fortune one day and lose it the next. He may have a position of high power and suddenly lose all public acclaim. No, Jesus was telling us something more real than this. Something which contained everything necessary to living in the world. For he knew that we need food and clothing and shelter. He was not saying that the divine will impose suffering upon us, but rather that when we fail to live in accord with the divine, we bring suffering upon ourselves." And I think sometimes there's more here that I'll share in a minute, but that I think sometimes we confuse living by spiritual principles with the need to suffer or do without. And if you come by that in your upbringing, you came by it honestly because it was purported by a lot of traditional practices. But here we recognize that the amazing abundance that life has to offer is not withholding itself from us. No, oftentimes it's us withholding ourselves from it. And so that's what he's talking about, this not surrendering into something so that you have to do without, but surrendering so that you allow the beneficial, loving presence of the Creator to fill your life with good. When Holmes describes surrender, he writes, "Losing our lives or making the great surrender to spirit does not mean losing anything worthwhile, but getting rid of those things which deny the presence of power of the Spirit." So surrender is our doorway to peace. Surrender is that threshold that we can cross into to an understanding or a knowing or an allowing, as opposed to a striving or a struggle, which is so common in our culture that in any good thing that we have to attain, we have to work really hard for and pull ourselves up from the bootstraps. And if you're not working harder, you deserve what you get. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about an allowing and a surrender into a peaceful presence that knows our good and only wants us to experience it. And I think when we think about the Christmas story and this idea of newness, I want to kind of bring in part of that story. And the part of the story that I love the most, no, it isn't the birth of baby Jesus and the 3 wise men and all of that. No, my favorite part of the Christmas story is what happened to Mary. It's a powerful metaphor for us when we look at this idea of this young girl minding her own business, mind you, minding her own business. And this young girl, this virgin, is told that she will be impregnated by spirit. And not only that, but she will give birth to the new beginning for all mankind. No pressure. No pressure whatsoever. Holy cow. Now her first response isn't what my first response might have been. No effing way. No, her response was more perplexity, a little bit of confusion when she, rather than denying that it was going to be her, she says, "How can this be, since I do not know a man?" She's just curious. And the angel responds, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and nothing will be impossible with God." Nothing will be impossible with spirit. What an important thing for us to focus on, that nothing is impossible when we allow ourselves to be impregnated by spirit. When we allow spirit to come within us and move through us. I just love the symbolism of this whole story about the power that it holds for us to understand that even when we are working in this thing called life and we're wanting to create something, or we're trying to think of something that, or I want to rephrase that, because it's not about trying, it's about listening to that deep whisper inside of us and allowing that guidance that comes forward to come through us, and not to respond with no effing way, but to respond with, really? And even to doubt a little bit, like, how could that happen for me? Those are all very reasonable responses when something is calling you to a bigger idea, when you might be getting ready to step into something new, like so many of us have done year after year as we've matured, as we've evolved on our spiritual path. And yet this knowing, this understanding that there is something larger than us that is actually doing all the heavy lifting. It's the thing that makes the grass grow. It's the same thing that brings your heart's desire to you and allows it to happen in your life. It sounds a little magical, doesn't it? It's just science. It's just the spirit of science and how it works with life. That's why we're called Science of Mind. That's why we're a philosophy and a way of life, because we have this method of working with the creative process that is both spiritual and scientific. And if we are looking at stepping into newness, it isn't about reading all the books and Googling it, and don't forget ChatGPT, because it'll give you lots of good information. All of that can be helpful, but it's really about trust. It's really about knowing that the thing that makes the grass grow, the thing that makes your heart beat, the thing that breathes your body and does all this miraculous stuff around you is doing it inside of you as well. And not just to meet your basic needs. Not just to make sure you have a roof over your head and food on the table. No, this spirit of life wants to move through you with grace and with ease and with power in ways that you can conceive and not conceive. And so when we are surrendering, when we are stepping into this powerful practice of surrender, it is not defeat at all. It's the beginning of letting power in. It's the beginning of knowing our own innate powerfulness as an expression of the divine. You are no less than the perfect, whole, and complete expression of the divine. The trick is to let go of the world's idea of perfection and wholeness and completeness, and begin to understand that everything that happens in your life, whether it's something you really called in, big and loud and exciting, or something that happened that was not what you wanted to happen, all of it is the divine moving through life. And when we can begin to accept that, we can begin to be in alignment with it. I think stepping into surrender, there's a process for inviting it. And I have time, I'll tell you a little story. When I come to my spirituality grounded in 12-step recovery movement, and I mention that often, try to be as anonymous as possible about that. But one of the things that I remembered was that all the people who were really doing well in their life talked about surrendering. And I remember as a young woman sitting there listening to these people talk about surrender, thinking, oh, I want to do that. But I found that surrender wasn't necessarily something I could proactively, like, get up on Tuesday morning. I'm going to surrender today. It wasn't that proactive. Oftentimes the surrenders that I experienced in the beginning were surrenders because I couldn't fight or control or manipulate or strategize anymore. But as I began to practice spiritual practice, prayer, meditation, affirmations, journaling, taking classes, as I began to expand my spiritual life, I began to see some things that I could do to promote a healthy surrender. And being in this philosophy gave me a huge opportunity to learn how to use spiritual practice in a really practical way so that surrender came more easily and less painfully. And so I'm going to give you a couple of ideas of things that you can promote in your life so that you can have a graceful surrender and allowing a willingness for something new to happen. The first place that we start is readiness. And Advent is all about, if you're not familiar with Advent, it's about preparing the way. And so we begin to be ready. Before Mary could say yes, something in her had to be ready. The same is true for us. Sometimes we're clinging to old patterns, we're clinging to old stories, we're clinging to old ways of being. And we can make ready by being willing to let go of those stories, those ways of being that aren't serving us anymore. And sometimes, it's probably just me, but sometimes it's tempting to hold on to old patterns even when they're painful, just because they're familiar and it's something I know. Anybody else? Right. And so this idea of being ready is about being willing to let go. Being willing to let go and to wade through any of your hesitations, your doubts, your misgivings. Let all that come up. That's part of your preparation. And when we are ready to step into readiness, when we willingly step into readiness, it's not going to be perfect, but it's more like permission or a willingness that we give ourselves to have newness to open up to us. And the next step is openness. We want to be open and available. You know, next year's global theme is Open at the Top. And it's a famous quote by Ernest Holmes where he referred to this spiritual path as not a destination, but it is a journey where we are forever evolving our understanding and our relationship with Spirit. And so openness is so important to being willing to step into what I'll call graceful surrender. When I think about the metaphor of Mary's story, we find peace in our openness, And like Mary, who had to know that what was being promised wasn't impossible, she had to trust. She had to trust her knowing. She had to trust her faith. She had to trust what she believed in. And so likewise, we trust the creative process. When there's a calling for us for something, some newness that wants to come forward for us, we have to be open and to trust the creative process, the thing that makes the grass grow. I keep coming back to that, but because it's such a powerful idea that there is something in the universe that is propelling our lives forward. And much like planting a garden, we plant the seed, but we don't pry the seed open. We don't dig it up to see how it's doing. We cultivate, and God creates. We cultivate, and God creates. And so we need to be open and trust that process. And of course, that has us leaning into trust, not a trust of blind faith. Oh, you tell me this fable and I'm just going to believe it. Thank you very much. What's for dinner? No, I'm not talking about that kind of blind trust. I'm talking about a knowing, understanding that the universe is forever delivering to us what it is that we believe and think and desire and invite. There's a wonderful line that I heard from Kathy Ann Lewis, a wonderful, brilliant wise woman in our movement. And she says that everything comes through the creative process, and that everything is either promoted, created, allowed, or we step in it. And when we step in it, we have the opportunity to promote, create, or allow it. So it's a cycle that we're always working with the creative process, that it is always paying attention to what you're paying attention to. It is the only way that it can create life is through us. It has no other mechanism. It doesn't happen in heaven and come showered down upon us. No, it moves through us. And so surrender is this amazing preparatory step to your good that allows you to be available to something new, that allows you to be available. Sometimes it's just an awareness. Sometimes it's a new job. Sometimes it's something big. Sometimes it's something small. But it's always spirit manifesting, demonstrating, creating life by means of you. What an awesome privilege to be a human being in this world, to be part of that creative process, to surrender to it, to allow it to move through us, to look back at that Christmas story and what happened with Mary. She was willing to trust. She was willing to surrender. She was willing to have something happen that was going to be for the betterment of her and for her family and for her community, and according to Gabriel, for the world. Yeah, it's a beautiful symbolic idea that we can carry with us as we move through the preparation of the Advent and this holiday season. And so last week I invited you to have your own Advent at home, to have candles that you put out, and to light a candle each week, and to inquire, make some inquiries about what it is that wants to come through you. And so last week we had some questions and we were focused on hope, and this week we're looking at the idea of peace. And what I know about peace is it's not something that can be forced. It's something that can be invited. And we must allow peace. We must create the environment for it and invite it in and invite that power and presence that wants to experience life by means of you. And so my invitation to you this week is to be that place of holy flexibility. Holy flexibility, to allow what wants to come through you, to consider what newness wants to express by means of you, to notice your old stories and how you might find yourself. Anybody like me? I'll be talking to somebody, and I'll be saying in my own mind, my God, this is the 5th time I've told this story. Like, it had some juice in it for me that I had to expel, I guess. But we want to surrender those old stories because sometimes they keep us stuck. They keep us limited. And so as you light your second candle, let it symbolize that part of you, like Mary, who listened to that little whispered invitation. I guess it wasn't so much of a whisper for those of you who know the story. But allow the flame to be the reminder to you of the peace that is within that wants to be experienced as you step into and surrender to newness. And so here's 3 questions that you might ask yourself. And again, they'll be in the blog, they'll be in the weekly email, and that you'll be able to consider them all week. The first question is, where in my life am I being invited to surrender something old so that peace may enter? The second question, what might become possible if I trusted even a little more when I'm guided, supported, and held by something large, when I am guided, supported, and held by something larger than my own understanding? So both questions invite us to be in the realm of potential and possibility. And then the third question, that's kind of optional, because what I know about the universe is that sometimes we can, by holding on to our old stories, sometimes, and then still wanting something new in our lives, sometimes we're sending mixed signals. The universe is like, you want to stay single, you want to get married, you want to stay single, you want to get married. Which is it? So maybe you might want to consider what mixed signals you might be sending to the universe and how you can align your actions with your desire for newness. Enjoy the holy holidays. They are a wonderful time for us to dive deep into possibility, surrender, the unknown, to be in the uncertain and yet know there is something new that is coming through us. And so I wish you peace in this season of preparation. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go ahead and pray, shall we? We have this amazing technology called affirmative prayer, and it's a spiritual technology where we actually recognize that thing that makes the grass grow. We see our connection to it. We affirm what it is we want to experience. We let it go, and we give thanks. And so here we go. So I know that there is indeed a divine power in the universe that is animating all life. It is everything I know and so much more. I know this creative power is forever unfolding in a world of my knowing and in all the things I've never even dreamed of. So in this moment, in this prayer, in this space, I allow myself to be that place where God shows up, where spirit manifests in the form, where it expresses itself out into the world around me and in my life. And so I trust for each one as we move through this holiday season that we are beautifully and gracefully and gently prepared for a greater experience of love, of wisdom, of abundance, of whatever it is that is calling us forward. And so it is in this power and this presence that we know that indeed there is a blessing upon us. There is a blessing upon ourselves and all the people around us and all the people we know and don't know, that there is expression happening, creative, beautiful, powerful expression. And we choose right now to be part of it, to be willing participants, to surrender, to be ready, to be open, to trust. And so it is from this very powerful place of surrender that we let this go in gratitude, giving thanks for all that is, all that has been, and all that ever will be. And we anchor this together by saying, and so it is. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and bring back the band. Woo! And Allendale, thank you, Allendale, our wonderful house band. Let's give them a hand.
So my whole perfect and complete self made a mistake.
No.
I send out the topics to the musicians every month, and when I sent it out for December, I made a mistake on the first week, and it was about moving past judgment. And Rick wrote this song about that, and so we're gonna do it anyways, because it's always perfect, right? It's called Only God.
If you surrender, you accept. So that means you don't judge. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nobody is perfect, but no one is condemned. Get to know the enemy, and you may find a friend. Before you cast the first stone, remove the plank from your eye, and judge not, lest ye be judged. When I look at you with God's eyes, I see me. And when you look at me with God's grace, we both see only God. Well, when you are hated, love is what he seeks. And when you feel the sting, offer up the other cheek. Before you cast the first stone, remove the plank from your eye, and judge not, lest ye be judged. When I look at you with God's eyes, I see me. And when I look at you with God's grace, we both see only God. The first is last, but the soul lasts forever. And at last, there's only one we must consider. Before you cast the first stone, remove the plank from our eyes, and we judge not, lest ye be judged. When I look at you with God's eyes, I see me. And when you look at me with God's grace, we both see. When I look at you with God's eyes, I see me. And when you look at me with God's grace, we both see only God. Only God.
Only God.
Only God. Only God.
Wowzee. I love that song. Do you guys love that? It's Beautiful. We are so blessed by these musicians and this band. Did you see how beautifully they all played together? This is a brand new song, just seamlessly. Let's give them a hand. And to our songbirds, bringing so much joy and light. Oh, it's so fun. It's time for our conscious, committed giving. This is really one of my favorite practices because it's a spiritual practice that we get to engage in. We receive today this beautiful service, this beautiful message, this gorgeous music, the community with each other, and it's an opportunity for us to give back so that we keep the law of circulation always moving, always in flow, always touching the good. And so today we get an opportunity to do that, and I'm hoping that I can have our ushers come up to the front. And together we'll be reading our offertory. And if you're giving today and watching us online, please follow the prompts at cslcv.org, and you can also participate in this beautiful act of consciousness. So join me in reading our offertory. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and it symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
We bless these gifts, knowing they flow from the infinite source as we release them in gratitude. They return as multiplied good for the community and for every giver. And so it is. Thank you. Any newcomers out there? Anybody here for the very first time? If you just raise your hand, we'd like to just recognize you for a moment. Okay, bring someone next week. Oh, well, some of us are. And also, I'd like to just let us give a moment of acknowledgement for our practitioners. Our practitioners have been trained in the art and science of this wonderful practice that Dr. Alice so elegantly talked to us about, this act of prayer. And you have an opportunity today to get a gift from one of them, and that is prayer. Eric Butterworth, who is a very strong proponent in the New Thought community, he said, prayer is not something we do to God, it's something that we do to ourselves. And I'd like to say that it is something that we do for ourselves. So our practitioners in service today are Cheryl Lineman, and we have Rick Dale, and they will be waiting for you to pray in the back of our sanctuary right after service. And Lorianne Whitty has been praying for us all day via the internet, via Godspeed, just holding the consciousness for this service. So we'd like to give Lorianne a big hug as well. And now it's time for our invitations.
We'll get to that, Tony. It's not here. We'll get to it. Yeah, thank you. I know she's concerned about our birthday Sunday. We do that right after the announcements. We got it. All right. So we have lots of wonderful things happening, and the very most important thing I want you to know is that after we gather here today, we are going to have an amazing concert. Our band is going to be performing for us a holiday concert. We have invited lots of people. I hope that you'll stay for that. We have some refreshments for you so that you can stay and help us raise some money for our band. Here's what you need to know about our band. As our budget has shifted a little bit, we heard you loud and clear. Our band is an important part of what we do every Sunday. And so one of the ways that we're keeping the music keeping the music playing is that we've been doing concerts all year, and you've been so generous, and I hope you'll continue to be generous. We have some live auction items for you. We have this amazing quilt that you'll see in the lobby that is a silent auction. Actually, the live auction is a raffle of sorts where you can get raffle tickets for some wonderful gift baskets. All of this, plus we'll accept your love offerings as well. All of this keeps the music playing, keeps us fulfilled, keeps us lifted up, and so spiritually fed by the amazing music program we have. Let's give them all a hand. I could not do what I do without them, so thank you. I have one more thing that's off script. We had a wonderful opportunity yesterday to introduce ourselves or reintroduce ourselves to the larger community. It's something called Putting on the Glitz that happened in San Clemente on Del Mar, and I want to thank the people who showed up for that. We had lots of volunteers that were there, and they were really giving of their heart. We supported families. We had lots of kids show up and make ornaments, and all of it was the brainchild of someone who doesn't like to be acknowledged, but tough nuts. That's our own board member and beloved Dan Martin. So thank you, Dan. All right. If you haven't signed up for what's going on here, if you're not your first time, your second time, your third time, and you've never signed a visitor card, we now have a digital visitor iPad where you can put in your information. We really want to get to know you, and we want you to get to know us, and so you can sign up for that. And if you've been a visitor and you've never accepted a gift from us, please see the lovely redhead in the back, and she has a gift for you today. Thank you for coming and for considering being part of our spiritual family here. If you do fill out that visitor's card, we are going to give you a cup of coffee from Starbucks. Conscious Connections will not meet today because of the concert we're having. We will not be here next Sunday, but the Baha'i Center will be here. Every 8 weeks or so, they do a wonderful experience called Soul Journey. It starts at a different time, and this is the thing I really want you to make note about if you're coming next week, because if you come at the regular time, well, you can help them set up, but nothing is going to be happening until 11 a.m. There's fellowship at 11, then there's a beautiful experience that happens here in the auditorium with music and meditation and reading. And then afterwards, they do a barbecue, and you're welcome to stay for that as they feed you in another way. It's a wonderful experience if you'd like to attend. So keep that in mind for next week. But then the following week we'll be back, same bat channel, same time, but with some different musicians, and I'll be talking. And that'll be Solstice Sunday, and so we'll have a little ritual for you to recognize the return of the light. So it's really a wonderful month that we have planned for you. And then on the 28th, we're going to do our Burning Bowl ceremony here. So if you're not familiar with Burning Bowl, that's all this preparation we're doing is for letting go. And by the time we get to the 28th, you'll know what you want to let go of. So I hope you'll join us for that. We have all the regular things that are happening here. We won't be doing a Christmas Eve service during the middle of the week. We're doing solstice instead. Mary wants me to make sure you know that. And we still have some Science of Mind magazines in the lobby. You still have a whole month of content, so I highly recommend getting a magazine if you haven't gotten one yet. Mondays with Mary for the book study. We have yoga classes Monday night and Tuesday in the San Juan Center, shifting sands at the San Juan location on Thursdays, and then Friday morning on Zoom for Coming Home, Awakening to Spirit. All of this is on our website. We have brochures where you can put it on your fridge. Gotta know there's always a way to stay in touch. I'm really grateful that you do, and I'm grateful you're here this Sunday, and so I want to welcome the band and our Allendale to come back up to recognize our birthdays and to sing us out.
So if you are a December baby, please stand up. We want to sing to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Barbara! Woo! All right. Now it's time to stand and sing our closing song. It's called Stand.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
And know with me, peace is within us. Peace is all around us. Peace is here today. And so it is. So it is.